COVID-19 vaccine was never fit for human use. It was a disaster even from the start, even by Pfizer's own data. Their 10-week mandated post-market series, there were 42,086 casualties, including 1,223 dead. And many of those dead, they died within days, sometimes the same day, sometimes in the same hour as the vaccine was administered. Now, this is heretofore unprecedented. When I was up in Detroit, graduated from medical school up there at Wayne State University, in 1979 and 1976, we had the influenza pandemic, and they rolled out the swine flu vaccine. It was a disaster. It wasn't anywhere near a disaster. There were only 28 deaths. A spate of cases of Guillain-Barré syndrome, they immediately ripped it from the market. Just 26 deaths. The rotavirus vaccine for young children, turn of the century. There were no deaths, just a spate of cases of a bowel complication, which is repairable, called intussusception. So what happened? And why wasn't that drug vaccine, lethal vaccine, immediately pulled from the market? It was never safe, it was never effective, and it was never necessary.
Well, I believe it's the money behind it. You have these statistics, 80% of SIDS death within 2 weeks of the vaccine. What do you say to the doctors out there who say, Dr. Thorp, you're crazy. Your numbers are wrong, and I'm not following your advice?
Well, again, the pharmaceutical trolls or vaccine pushers can try to deny the data. But the simple fact of the matter is 27 years ago, Dr. Andrew Wakefield from the United Kingdom was absolutely spot on. And he was torched and he was literally his license removed for dare him to publish an article in the Lancet showing data where there was some safety concerns. But he's been completely vindicated. I mean, Nick Halsher, you looked at his work and all the publications that we've done together through the McCullough Foundation and others. This is the peer-reviewed literature. I've recently analyzed this and have written on it. There's 8 tiers of extreme publication bias. From the very top, Gates and others bought into the whole umbrella that controls all of the medical journals. From the very top, they will not allow a publication that is adverse to their narrative, and the studies that did make it through, they will remove it. Now, there's several more tiers. The medical journals themselves are paid for and bought off by pharmaceutical dollars. All of them. And this is this isn't Jim Thorp's opinion. This is in peer-reviewed medical literature.
Yeah,
we saw that. The independent reviewers are bought off.
We saw that at the height of COVID, when they were just basically scuttling these studies that were calling everything they were doing into question. Real quick on the SIDS deaths, though, because so many of them, is this just after the COVID vaccine, or is this after vaccines in general?
After the MMRV, after the vaccines in general. If you look at, to be perfectly clear, sudden infant death syndrome is multifactorial, but the cause, which is avoidable and preventable, is the vaccines. And again, not everybody, not every mother that gets a COVID vaccine when she's pregnant, or not every child is going to have a disastrous complication, right? I mean, in those COVID-19 shots, there were hot lots, and there were lots that were much less dangerous.
It is true. That's what we've seen, was that it looked like, as you call them, hot lots that were more dangerous than others, which is why we've seen, certain groups that had more problems than others. But I so appreciate the work you're doing on this. You raised this to my attention little bit earlier in the week. I said, I got to get you on for this, and I appreciate you coming on a Friday evening. Thank you, Dr. Thorp.
Thanks for having me on, Grant. Have a good weekend.
Yeah.